want you guys to understand, when you hear these terms, this is no dog on XRP. Of course not. Quant XRP are my tie for my number ones. Why is that? I want you guys to understand there is some things mentioned here about a new solution for interoperability, and you're going to hear this layout, and some people that just tune in and then they tune out be like, oh, I saw this guy mention how XRP is not even going to be used. I don't even need XRP. You need to listen to the whole thing. So here's how it all comes together. Remember how we mentioned ISO 222, and we mentioned the whole thing of ISO TC 307 complementing that whole thing? Can I give you an example of that? Here's an example of all that. So let's go ahead and play that or show it to you. This is from January 23rd of 2023. It's valid more than ever. Why would it be valid more than ever? Well, you see a thing that says a game changer for cross-border payments. Could UDPN, like we were talking about tonight, make XRP obsolete? This is a new solution to facilitate interoperability between central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, and regulated stablecoins. Was unveiled, at least then, right? January of 2023, unveiled at the World Economic Forum at Davos. But what's interesting is what you see here. Table of contents. What is UDPN? We talked about that. We already know what it is. What's the potential use case of UDPN? We gave you the example in the video. Could UDPN make Ripple obsolete? I'm going to go with no. I'll show you why. But if anything, Hyperledger, blockchain integration, interoperability framework, Hyperledger Cactus, UDPN and Ripple's XRP could coexist. Again, that's why it's going to be solidified here in a second. So what does UDPN aim to do? We already mentioned that, but I want to share this part. It's interesting that they mention what is Quant, right? So I'm going to get to this part. Could UDPN, and let's blow this up a little bit more because I know it might be kind of hard to see. All right. Could UDPN... Oh, I got to get to that part because when I zoom in, it kind of makes it all weird. So that bell is covering it up too much. I guess we'll just do it like this. All right. All right. Where is this part? My bad. We'll get through. I'll just read it to you because otherwise, if I focus too much on that little bell thing, it's going to ruin the outline. And we don't want that to ruin the outline, do we? All right. So could UDPN make Ripple's XRP obsolete? That's a great question. I don't want you guys who are in XRP to ever feel like you got to get out of XRP and become a quant maxi because of this. Heck no. We previously wrote, excuse me, about the potential of XRP to be used as a global bridge currency, facilitating cross-border transactions, interoperability between CBDCs, stablecoins, and so on. While UDPN is not the first platform that aims to be the solution for digital currency, CBDCs, stablecoin interoperability, it has garnered a significant amount of attention since it was unveiled at the World Economic Forum last, January of last year. Potentially because of its perceived influence at the World Economic Forum when it comes to influencing policy. Taking a look at some of the potential use cases of UDPN would be tested for one, it could certainly question whether this platform will become a direct competitor for XRP or in time make XRP's cross-border use case obsolete together. So again, don't get flooded out of this. This is not to create FUD. It's just pointing out something because I've seen people on X, Crypto X, saying, oh, you don't need XRP. It's just quant all the way. Guys, misinformation sometimes gets spread like wildfire to fit somebody's narrative because, again, this is why Channing and I were mentioning earlier. Go back to the example of Chainlink and Quant. Remember, if you're just tuning in, Rashid Ajaja from Nexera kind of squashed that with his own research. What kind of impact does this make on XRP? Well, like I said, it's possible that UDPN could have an impact on the adoption of usage of Ripple and XRP for cross-border transactions. The UDPN is designed to facilitate interoperability between CBDCs, stablecoins, and aims to provide a common standard. Look at that. For messaging across different digital currency systems. This could potentially make it easier for financial institutions to conduct cross-border transactions using CBDCs and stablecoins rather than using XRP as a bridge currency. Now, we have to pause there. Okay, let's come back. And if anything, as soon as Channy comes back, we'll bring him back in. I want you guys to understand this. Okay. Oh, he's back. All right. So add him to the stage. So my thing, and Channing, I know you just missed this part. Let me go ahead and unmute you. I'll mute you right now so you can speak. So where you're going to catch up on this, Channing, is remember how we talked about ISO? Oh, you were here?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. So yes, ISO 222. This notion, and people point this out. I don't need XRP, or I don't need anything ISO 222. I could just go with Quant. ISO TC 307. That standard, the Quant network standard, like it says here, a common standard for messaging across different digital currency systems. It's not that we're saying to hell with ISO 222. It's recognizing that ISO TC 307, the Quant network standard, will work with this. It will dramatically complement it. Elaborate on it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying it couples it. Like I look at it like this: the ISO 222 is more so for the money aspect of Web3, and TC 307 is Web3 in general, if that makes sense. And you can't have one without the other. It's like having society without central banks. It doesn't work in today's time.
Right. Well, that's a good example. So I wanted to highlight that. Getting back into the frame or out of the frame, we're getting into this part. So again, misinformation, you guys. This is why we do the deep dive on some of this stuff, because there's a lot of the whole thing of crypto tribalism and trying to make this thing like a fraternity system, or football teams. Your project is against this, and I'm just rooting for this, and it's just all about me and what I'm invested into. I'm rooting for everybody's success. I'm not like that, but some people are. I get it. Let's squash the FUD a little bit. Let's jump down to this part. So we know about Ripple's XRP. We know about some of the things that they do, but this statement, it is important to note that the UDPN and Ripple's XRP serve different purposes. Please listen to this, just in case if you've seen some people on X trying to beat their chest, like, oh, we don't need XRP. I mean, I'm not saying the Q&T people really do this. They really don't. But there is some misinformation being put out there. So they do serve different purposes, UDPN and Ripple. UDPN is focused on providing infrastructure for cross-border transactions between different digital currencies, whereas Ripple's focus is on providing a global settlement network and a suite of software solutions that enable faster, cheaper, more efficient cross-border transactions, of course, using XRP as a bridge currency. Ripple's tech is already being used by financial institutions, true, but we don't have that massive flip of the switch moment of, mass adoption. But I think all these guys sit at the big table. So, used by financial institutions who are using XRP and Ripple's on-demand liquidity, which is ODL, to make cross-border transactions cheaper and faster. The UDPN is still undergoing testing, development. That was back in 2023. Again, where are we at now, guys? I'm telling you flat out. Quant could very well have its own version of a flip of a switch. Now, you may be thinking, well, great. You just gave me another example to buy more Quant instead of XRP. No, I'm not trying to do that. But look what it says. Testing developed. Unclear whether the technology would be adopted in masses by institutions. Wrong. We got the update. That's what we shared with you earlier. That being said, it appears that the two of the world's most top financial institutions will be testing UDPN's capabilities. You've already seen the capabilities. All right. Let's squash that, the whole thing of that. So here's this other part. Even though it mentions Ripple, you should also look at it from the perspective of what about other ones tied to ISO 222? What about like Stellar? Can Quant with Overledger with ISO TC 307 complement the likes of even Stellar or other ISOs? The answer is yes. How's the answer yes? Look at this. It's also possible that UDPN and Ripple could complement each other. UDPN could potentially provide regulated infrastructure for cross-border transactions, while Ripple's XRP could be used as a way to facilitate these transactions faster, cheaper, more efficient. Ultimately, it will depend on the adoption of each network at how they interact. Again, guys, oh, XRP is not moving. Oh, it only moves a little bit. These guys talking about, 589, 1,000. I don't know what they're talking about. Again, Olympic-sized swimming pools. Are they filled with, gushing with water or gushing with on-demand liquidity? Are you in the shallow end? Is your feet even wet? You get the analogies I'm making? Yes, I think you do. Look at this. How we'll interact with each other, with other financial institutions and payment providers. Look at this statement. As mentioned, UDPN and Ripple are not the only ones trying to find solutions. Yes, you see Quant there. We'll get to that in a second. Not only ones trying to find solutions for the interoperability of various digital currencies and tokenized assets. Learn more, right? We are. And look at this. What is Quant Network? Is Quant Network the key to connecting blockchain in a multi-chain world? I think the answer is obviously yes, and it takes you to this. And we know about Quant Network, all right? So the bottom line is understanding the concept of how it all works together, but giving you actual examples, And the key thing is, and I guess they're mad at me now because they're like, hey, you can't just keep using this for free. And I understand. They got to make their money too. But my thing for you all is we want examples. We could talk your head off about the RLN. We already did that. We could talk your head off about how, whether you want to agree with BSV or not, it's like Terranode, for instance, huge, absolutely massive. Even if you guys think that CSW is a charlatan, being able to get reports of 2 million TPS, 2 million plus TPS, that's worth pointing out. That's technology. Visa, MasterCard, getting on board with that, some of that stuff. This is not be about BSV tonight. But my key thing is recognizing the tech. Why would they want to get involved with that tech? Okay? Because they want to scale. Quant sits at the table as far as scalability too through the RLN because of the M10, 1 million TPS. So again, I understand that BSV can do billions and in the future trillions, but I'm talking about comparing what we have right now, and who sits at the table as far as the partnerships, the central banks, and so on, those connectors, why they're so important. So UDPN is a big deal just as much as RLN is a big deal because now you understand how it all comes together because you have actual examples and you actually have interviews from real people that are behind the scenes that verify some of these things. So what I want to get into now is, I want to hear from Channing. Sorry about dominating the conversation. It's not intentional. Let me unmute you, my friend. Sorry about that. And maybe on your end, you just need to unmute yourself. So there you go. Go ahead.
Yeah. No.
The UDP.
Yeah, no, that last part was a lot. But no, but that but it just shows you that there's multiple different hands in the pot trying to make this thing work. You know what I'm saying? From the RLN to the UDPN, it kind of sort of seems like they touch base on the same things and then they're different in certain ways as well. But then also that paper also talked about Quant and talked about, nobody brings interoperability like Quant does. But that's the reason why everyone is working with them because they realize that no one is doing what they're doing in this space. No one. And again, like I said in some of my videos before, it's not a blockchain. It's a blockchain operating system, the first and only of its kind in existence. That is major. And to know that not only that, but you have governments and central banks and major corporations also utilizing this first and only of its kind system, that does nothing but bring value to it. Like I said in one of my lives, I don't care about footers. I don't care if footers don't see value when the Bank of International Settlement sees value, and the Bank of England sees value, and the Bank of Canada sees value, and the Federal Reserve sees value. I don't care about them when the Hong Kong Monetary Authority sees value. I don't care about people on Twitter not seeing value in, this project when you have the largest players like BlackRock that sees value, Citi sees value, Clifford Chance sees value. I mean, we're talking trillions of dollars utilizing Overledger in some way or another, so I look at them through their eyes as far as the value of what Overledger is bringing, and that's why they're coupling themselves with it because they know money follows money, and when Overledger gets value, that means that it will trickle down to where however they're utilizing it in their organization, whether it's tokenization, whether it's CBDCs, whether it's scalability, or whatever the case may be. It's going to bring that company or blockchain or whatever even more value because of the tie to Overledger, because it makes them do something that they can't do without them, which is interoperability. Talk to anything on any platform, anywhere, instantly.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it too. And back to the example about what you're mentioning, talking to each other, or you're saying, forget the whole narrative on X, right? Twitter. Well, speaking of X, Twitter, you guys rocked. Okay, biggest show ever in the history of this channel, or even before that. 612. I just went down to 611.
It's all right, though.
612. My God. Some of you guys ask what cold storage solution I use. I use this, and it is the Decent wallet. All right. I also, of course, have a ledger like this. All right. You can get a discount basically from going into the affiliate link, which is in all the live video descriptions and recorded and so on. And for the yahoos that are out there, they're like, this is just a shield. And, we'll point this out. And it's a great point. Were you aware that you don't necessarily get a discount link just going straight to the site? No, you actually have to go through a platform like this. So how cool is that? I don't think anybody's complaining about that. But anyway, use the link, get a discount. There's another one here. If you're the type of person you want to get one for you and your significant other, you could get two of them. They actually have another promotion, which is this, and I think this is cool. You can get an all-in-one card wallet plus backup card package. Interesting. I thought that was cool. And again, one of the main key things I like about the Decent wallet is not having to do the red tape of jumping through all the hoops for XDC and the custom folder. I mean, Edward Vincent can vouch on that. Some of you guys can too as well in regards to Ledger. That was a pain in the butt. You don't have that problem. You literally open up your phone, it's on your app, track everything that's going on, right? And saying goes, not your keys, not your crypto. You know the drill. Check it all out though if you wish to do so. It is truly the cold storage solution that I use. For the most part, there's still some on Ledger that, I kind of split it up on it and so on. So it is what it is. But if I have preference over one, I'm going with this one. A lot easier to use and so on. And some people, even to this day, still ask me which one to use.